Hello everyone, this is my reaction to last Friday's Star Citizen Live Q&A, crafting and base building. As always, this is not a summary, I only talk about things I find important. And like almost any other Star Citizen Live, this felt once again like, here we have a few people, they want to make a space game, they are just starting brainstorming. This does not feel like CRG has any plan, CRG is thinking anything through, this does not feel like a well-oiled machine.
What can player bases be used for? How will base building integrate with other gameplay features such as mining and trading?
A base can be used for whatever you want to use it for. That will provide options for you to do all kinds of stuff with it. And there should be, or is likely to be, relevant links into pretty much any kind of gameplay that you can think of.
At first, no one wanted to answer, and now this guy gives the most bland answer ever. Relevant links into pretty much any kind of gameplay. They knew the questions in advance, what can player bases be used for, and now they are stuttering and have no concrete idea?
How does all this work with shards?
So the plan is that every base, every plot of land, every extraction pot will be visible across all the shards within a region. And then a lot of the functionality of the base will also be available across all the shards within a region. So if I make a base and I set up a shop, people on other shards can come visit and use my shop. The exception is going to be raiding and attacking a base. This can only occur on a single shard, and which shard that is dynamic based on the rule set. The easiest rule is always, is the owner online? Then the raid can only occur on that owner's shard. This means that if I'm on another shard and I rock up with a gun and I shoot the base, it'll prompt me, you'll have to change shard in order to attack this base. Obviously as shards increase, we see this less and less, but the advantage of that is that you'll never be in this scenario where your shard, you're not able to defend your base. You'll always be able to defend your base in this scenario.
I should stop making reaction videos to Star Citizen Live. Once again, this feels like they have no idea. The plan is, we want to in the future, and I don't think it's a good idea that you have to be on the right chart to attack a base, at least for now, and knowing CRG for quite a while in the future.
Now, we did introduce, and you just mentioned, the idea of planetary shields. What's our current plan for how those will work in high security systems versus low security systems?
If you have it, your base is immune to attack. Your stuff cannot be stolen, and there's actually two layers of shielding going on here. You have a air shield, which prevents bombardments, and then you also have basically it hugs the building, so even if you go through the shield with a tank and try and shoot the building directly, it still won't take damage. So you really are, you're very, very, very safe when it comes to planetary shield tech.
Very, very safe until someone takes advantage of all the clipping issues in Star Citizen in year 13. I have never seen a game with so many clipping issues like Star Citizen. You can clip into almost any ship with an interior, and you can clip into planets and moons, and you can come out wherever you want. So this will be perfect for base raiding.
Will mining extractors and other processors automatically eject boxes, allowing anyone to just tractor them away? Or will we have to eject them by hand?
Most of them will have an internal buffer that lets them hold the results of their process until you're ready to pick them up. That being said, you can also have them directly put stuff in boxes as soon as it's ready. But if you're worried about people nicking it, you don't need to be so concerned because they'll be subject to the same sort of permissions as anything else in your base. So that's like the mag lock that stops people stealing your chair will also stop them stealing your cargo boxes.
Why not do it right? Why does the player has to empty the mining extractor? Why not have complete factory streets, like for example in Satisfactory?
Will underground deposits respawn over time, and how is the overall rarity of minerals accounted for in the economy?
Short answer, yes. So they will respawn, but it is very unlikely that they will respawn on the land plot that you already have.
Can we deconstruct buildings, and how is this done?
Yes, you will get some of the material back that you invested in building.
How does crafting change existing gathering methods such as mining and salvage?
So the TLDR, or the short version, is the mining that we have right now will change more drastically.
Sometimes I dream And think about CRG having a plan, having a long time concept. But no, now they are completely changing mining and salvaging in the year 13. You cannot make this up. Reworks of reworks of reworks of reworks of reworks. If you're ever wondering why Chris has achieved so little in year 13 with more than $730 million, here is your answer.
Minables that you find based on the profession that you picked. So if you are a ship miner, you will find ship mining deposits. If you are an FPS miner, you will only find FPS minables. And if you are a ground vehicle miner, you will find ground vehicle resources. And if you want to use your ground extraction tool in your base, you will find specific materials there. So what I'm saying here is that we don't have the shared minerals anymore that we currently have between FPS and ground vehicle mining. We will have the hard cuts. So everything you will find in FPS mining, you will only find in FPS mining. Everything ground vehicle mining, only there. Only ship mining, only there. So we will have a clearer separation so that we can actually encourage the different gameplay loops a bit more effectively.
Whichever kind of mining profession you choose to do, you'll have some valuable, unique materials that you can only get with that profession.
It's going to be a lot more different materials as well.
Yeah, the amount of materials that we will have is...
Yeah.
Now they are totally reworking mining and salvaging, and they're talking about, oh look, we will have so many different materials, so many different tiers. CRG, you cannot even do the most basic things that even games of very small developers can do, and now you want to make us believe that you can make a very complicated system in the next 5 years?
Will there be limited use blueprints?
In short, yes. We're going to be supporting both finite use blueprints, so like you get it, you can only use it n times, and then also blueprints that have a cooldown in between uses, so you can only use it, periodically.
What happened to making the best space game ever? What happened to the vision of Star Citizen? Now we have blueprints that have limited use or have a cooldown. A blueprint is a design plan or other technical drawing. It's not something that vanishes, that has a cooldown. What are you doing, CRG?
Can you trade blueprints?
Yes and no. So if you get directly credited a blueprint from a mission or a reputation reward or something, then it's bound to your character. You can't trade it. But there will be some gameplay where you find blueprints on a datapad, and that datapad can be traded.
And eventually, when we have a more robust trading system, I can see that being a hot commodity on whatever our version of an auction house will be.
Oh, I know what this platform will be. eBay and other real money trading platforms.
Can we use stolen materials to craft?
Absolutely. The crafter doesn't care.
We'll go back to base building for a bit. How customizable will these things be in terms of materials, colors, shapes?
I spare you this. This was a 3-minute answer that didn't answer anything. No concrete examples. Do we maybe get hex code colors for our bases?
How will we be able to decorate our homes in a way that there isn't physics jank just all over the place?
So one of the options that we will have with decorative ER, the mode in which you get to decorate your place, is that you'll be able to kind of lock your furniture into place, and therefore only you or certain people with the right credentials are allowed to move the position of that object.
I don't like this idea, having fixed spots, locks. Why can't I just lay down a gun wherever I want, like you showed in your faked video, CRG? Why are you making faked videos when you know exactly this is not how it works in your game today, and most likely not even in 5 years from now? Yeah, this is how it actually works in the game right now. Why not fix your physics? Or I should say, why not fix the little bit of physics Star Citizen actually has in year 13?
Can you work together to create a base, or can you charge a fee for using a base's services?
Yes.
This answer sounded very confident. Translation, we are in year 13, we still have no idea, we have no plan, we are just making things up as we move along.
Can you spawn in your base or group bed log?
Yes, you need the proper building for that. So right now, the intention is that if you have a med bed or if you have an hospital area in your base, you can use the imprint system there and then use this as your gathering point as the group.
Why do I need a medbed in my base in order to spawn in my base? I don't like this.
Yeah, bases in caves or asteroids.
But it's not on the roadmap right now.
Can we start a build using our drones from something like the Starlancer, then leave?
Yes, you can.
And will there be smaller scale stations for smaller groups?
There isn't plans at the moment for small scale space stations, and there will be some limitations on where you can build a space station, but you're not limited to just in orbit around a planet. You can build it way out in the depths of space.
We have ideas, we have plans, we have intentions right now. We have ideas, we have plans, we have intentions right now. If you pledge for a ship, will you receive a blueprint to craft it?
No, you cannot.
How are we expecting this tier system to work? Keeping in mind, there's still lots of development between now and its implementation.
The creation blueprint, which lets you make new stuff. And a higher tier one of those will let you craft the higher tier of the relevant item. So let's say you've already got the tier 1 blueprint for a gun and it has stats like fire rate and recoil. You'll be able to see on the crafting UI the stat range for those stat types. And the exact value that you get when you actually make the gun will be dependent on the quality of the resources that you put in. When you upgrade the blueprint to tier 2, you'll see the tier 2 version of the gun, and those stat ranges will be shifted. So it'll have a higher top end and a higher low end as well. It'll be on average better, but the actual number that you get is still dependent on the quality of the materials you put in. Is that these blueprints have aspects, we call them. It's kind of like parts of the product, so like the barrel of a gun or the grip of the gun or something like that, which will influence different stats of the item. So if you put materials into the grip part of the gun, the quality of those materials might impact the recoil, but it's not going to impact the rate of fire.
Sorry, I sound like a broken record, but once again, I should believe CRG can do this. CRG, the same company that cannot even do the most basic things other games of much smaller developers can do, like for example a decent UI, a decent inventory system. I don't believe you.
If you take something like an Aurora, we'll start just with a base level here, and you have now upgraded the hull to stage 5 or tier 5, where you've now used specific materials to customize specific elements and stats of that hull. And then you've done the same with the weapons, and you've customized the weapons up to tier 5 with certain materials to benefit certain things. And you've done the same thing with the components to custom up to tier 5 to customize certain attributes. You can have an Aurora that is dramatically different than David's Aurora or Pete's Aurora or something. It's like,
absolutely.
Once again, CRG hasn't thought this through. This pretty much means all the ships we bought with real money, some are very expensive, will be just tier 1. Low-level crap. CRG, do you realize you are pretty much destroying your income? Why should I pay money to buy a low-level tier 1 when I can just craft a much better version one fine day?
So anybody will be able to buy a plot of land in one of the buildable areas. The land claims basically are your like coupon for that. It's like you can pay a brand new UEC cost to purchase that, or if you have a land claim, it's like, nope, I already prepaid. This is my prepaid voucher, and you hand that in, and you get the land claim for that. So it's open to everyone. One is just a voucher. You've already got that ready for you. After that, there is a maintenance cost. We talked about money sinks. Money sinks are essential to every video game economy that's ever existed. So there will be a recurring fee if you don't log in often enough. And again, the time period will be things that adjust like everything else in Star Citizen. If you don't log in enough to pay your stuff, eventually you'll lose control or ownership of that land. And then I assume anybody can do whatever the heck they want with your base and the stuff that you've put there.
Did you notice this too? They did not mention how we are supposed to use crafting to get our subscriber gear and items we bought with real money back. Not one single word. And they did not mention how drones are actually building a base. I guess another beam? This Star Citizen Live sounded once again like they are just making things up, even now in year 13. Don't expect most what CRG talked about in this Star Citizen Live in the game in the next 5 years, and it will most likely change again. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.